What's good, guys? In today's video we are going to be doing a quick video about Gorilla Tag Toxicity. Yay! So we're gonna have an intro card in 3, 2, what is happening? Oh yeah, I don't know how to use this thing. Oh yeah, let's go. Okay, can we cut that out? Can we cut that out? Alright, so that was not needed, but what is Gorilla Tag Toxicity? So, Gorilla Tag Toxicity, ooh, that is oddly hard to say, is something that seems to be pretty common and is a big problem in this community, right? It seems to be a major issue and people have concern about it. That's why I'm commenting in this video, so let's get in that right now. So why are people so toxic in this game? Well, there might be multiple reasons, like self-doubt, just self-dislike that they don't like themselves, and they bring like that attitude into the game, making it just worse to play, right? It could just be they feel bad about themselves, but instead of just bringing the mood down the game entirely, it only brings down the mood a huge amount for other people, purely because they want to feel better, because they're making somebody else feel worse. It's just bullying, essentially. But that's what's really confusing, because there's two types of people doing toxicity in this game, right? There are two types. You have the older people and the younger people, and they are different. They are a little different. They're more connected, but they do have their differences. So in this video, we're going to be going over how the young people and how they affect this game, the older people and how they affect this game, and solutions to solve the toxicity and stuff, because that is pretty gosh darn important in my opinion. So first off, we're going to start with the younger people. Alright, so with the younger people, it seems to be more of influence, right? They don't fully know what they're doing. And the reason I say this is because I was young too at one point. I'm pretty old for this game, but in general, younger people, they're easier to influence, easier to do what you want, right? And they also absorb a lot of stuff that I think is cool, right? Like, if you thought trains were cool, you would like trains and you would do stuff with trains, right? This is kind of the same thing here. They think that being toxic is cool, and the reason they get that is from other people. They see other people doing it, and then get away with it, and they make it look like it's cool to be toxic, so they become toxic as well, making it just a worse game to play, right? Like, it is just a horrible thing, and it is partially their fault for not realizing that's a bad thing, but we can't fully blame them because they're still young. So it's not just the young people, though they are arguably the most toxic group, because they don't know how to hold back, right? They don't know, like, what the limit is, and even then, there's people out there that are showing them that it's fine to just yell slurs and stuff, which is not cool. This is a kid's game, and yet kids are the most offensive part. That is not cool. And the reason it's so offensive is because the older people, or, well, older people in general, but, you know, influence. So that's the reason that's often the reason why they're toxic. Another reason could just be they just feel like it. I know that's hard to say, or like hard to hear, or like listen or understand, but like when I say they just want to, I mean if they're somewhat mature, if they're 10, they're still technically young, right? They're too young to have an Oculus, or they say this game was just 13 plus. The reason that they act toxic is because they have a fragile ego. They think they're good at this game, and then they get dogged on, so they become toxic, or they dog on somebody else, and that make them feel bad. They dog on them for some reason. I don't know why he would do that, but they do that. They do that. It makes no sense. I don't get it. Now, of course, it's between like laughing at how funny the situation was versus laughing at them because they were bad. That's a little different, and they still probably shouldn't do that because it could be a little rude, but still, they're just doing it because they want to in a way to, and we'll get to solutions of that later in the video. Next up is the older people. Alright, so this is arguably the most important part of the video, the older people. We're the ones that are part of the problem, right? We're probably the bigger part of the problem. And this might seem not true, because, like I said, the young people are typically the more toxic group, but think about why they're toxic. The majority of them think it's cool, right? They think it's an acceptable thing. And who put that idea in their head? The older people, the people they look up to. So we are the source of the problem, and we need to fix that, which is kind of a weird thing to hear, and a weird thing to just like actually do, but we have to become better as an older group of the community we can't put all the blame on the young people because they're young, they don't know what they're doing, they don't even know themselves fully yet, but we should be mature enough to guide them in the right direction. So it's really weird that the older people are being just as toxic, if not a little less toxic, than the younger kids. We should be mature enough to just not do that stuff because it just makes sense. So when I see people being toxic like that in just a random public lobby, it genuinely hurts me because why? What's the point? You're just hurting somebody's feelings for no gain, so I don't get it. What I'm getting at is one of the main causes is the older people because they're giving influence to it, and that's why a lot of this game is toxic. They're making a toxic thing by being toxic themselves. The younger kids see that toxicity, think it's cool, think it's acceptable, and start doing it again, which makes this entire loop of toxicity that's just never gonna end unless we do something about it right now and here. And that's all I got to say about the older people, so let's move on to solutions. Alright, now for some solutions to this. Well, a lot of it is just changing our attitude about the game, changing how we treat others. That is probably the biggest change we can do this game, right? Is just learning to treat others with respect and not yell slurs and actually follow the rules of the game, because there's a lot of bigotries in this game. Let's just be honest with ourselves. So, solution number one, just act better, be better people. That's a little hard to do, and I know it is. I'm still not a great person, but I'm trying to change for the better because I know if I start, other people will try and start. It's kind of a chain reaction, right? If the older people start acting better, the young people act better because they think that's normal, so they'll do that. Likely, it might be a little different because of, just evil people. Even then, it might just be from home stuff, which isn't really their fault, but yeah. The first solution, just act better. The second solution is to ignore them. A lot of them are looking for attention, because it's something they seek, something they lack in real life, and while this is bad, you can just ignore them. Like, stop fighting back, just mute and report if it gets too bad, right? Those buttons are there for a reason. I mute a lot of toxic people because I don't want to listen to them, I don't care what they say. Because a lot of it is just to be hurting my feelings, and if I just ignore it, they get nothing. So, another solution is just to mute and report if it gets too bad. Only report as a last option. That is the last thing you should do. Getting somebody banned is a very serious thing. Do not be reporting people for dumb things. Okay? Take this very seriously. Alright, and the third and arguably the better solution is to talk to them. See why they're so toxic. Because there could be a reason that they just need to let something out, need to talk to somebody, they just need to express their feelings, right? I do that sometimes. Like, a therapist is probably the most common example of this, where people typically mean, but when they go to the therapist, they're a lot less mean, because, they have stuff off their chest, they can communicate a lot easier, makes that stuff, makes just being with them a lot more fun and easier, right? That's essentially what we have to do here. So somebody's like, you suck, you got caught in the tree, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Why are you being so toxic? But don't sound rude, like, hey man, are you good? Why are you being so toxic? Like, try and start up a conversation about why they're being so toxic. Now, obviously, if they just keep ignoring you and not trying to talk to you and improve the situation, and it just gets so far where they start yelling like slurs and stuff, then you should report. Mute first, or I wouldn't mute first, I'll report if it gets like to slurs and stuff, but if it's just cursing you out, I would mute. So, yeah, that's essentially all the solutions I could come up with. If you have any more, comments. Those are there for educational reasons. But, those are the three I came up with. So, hope those work. They might not always work, because, people are refusing to change, because change is scary. I'm scared to change sometimes. But, yeah, no, those are the three solutions I found. So, yeah, hope that kind of works. Alright. Alright, that should be it for today's video. Hope you take this into heart and try and spread this message, but generally, just be nicer people. This is what I'm getting at. This goes mostly for the older people, but for the younger people too. Please take this seriously and don't be mean, because it's genuinely just a not good way to be treating other people. You're treating yourself horribly by doing that, because you get that mindset. So in general, just be nicer people. That's all this video is about. Seen too many videos. Just please be nicer people, okay? That should be it for today's video, and bye. Oh yeah. I don't know how to use this thing. Oh yeah. Let's go.